Okay, I was waiting for this question to come up. Hi friends, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Kendall, aka Yo Girl. You're still fit. And I am bringing y'all a video that it has been a while since I've done. I'm going to be doing a Q&A for you guys. So I used the new little, I guess it's kind of new, feature on Instagram where on your story you can like do a little question thing. So I said, guys, ask me anything related to like my business, my life, fitness, whatever it might be, just ask away. And so I screenshotted all of them and I am going to go ahead and ask. I'm going to answer some of these if I can speak. Let's get into the video. Okay, so a lot of the questions were related to my new form and style of eating, which is intuitive eating. So I'm just going to touch on a few of them because they're kind of repetitive, and then we'll go from there. So one of my clients, Holly, she asked me, how's intuitive eating going? Is it harder or easier than I thought? So I actually did a little more research and I've been calling it intuitive eating, and in all honesty, I think it's more of just mindful eating than intuitive. While yes, I'm listening to my body as far as it goes with cravings, as far as it goes with amount, I obviously don't track it, but I'm just more mindful and I use the knowledge I know from tracking macros. So I wouldn't really say it's like, oh, my body is, I am super in tune with my body. I would say it's more just like, I know what I want, I know what I'm craving, this is how much of it I should probably eat because I haven't had this today, or I need a little more protein, or I need a little bit more carb. And you know, roughly I'll try and probably hit around like 250 to 300 carbs a day, within like that ballpark range. I don't really like look at a food and be like, oh, this has this many this meal, this has this many this meal, but I know roughly throughout the day just because of the knowledge I have. So definitely love mindful eating. Another one of my clients, Caroline, asked how the transition has been for me, and it was really easy, believe it or not, just because I was kind of fed up with tracking rather than like I couldn't let go of it, which a lot of people, it's hard to just like let go of tracking, but for me it was more of just like I really wanted to listen to my body for what I was craving, and use the knowledge that I had to just have more mental capacity to do my work, to talk to my clients, to get on phone calls, and to not, you know, go on dates and not worry about tracking and things like that. So I've loved every minute of being more intuitive and being more mindful than I did when I was tracking, but I have nothing against tracking macros. I think in the future I'll probably revert back to it at some point if I decide to compete again, or if I have like a really specific goal. I have no problem with reverting back to tracking macros, but for right now, being mindful and intuitive has been great. Okay, my favorite apparel. I really love Till You Collapse's and Ethos's shorts. Ethos is 100% my favorite legging company. Sports bra, I also love Till You Collapse and Ethos. Who else is good? Oh, Werewolf Clothing UK has really good leggings and shorts. Not too fond of their sports bras. And the new Buff Bunny collection is fire. I'm actually wearing one of the sports bras. It's so cute. It's so cute. That was a little bit too much. Do I follow a split now, or do I just listen to my body? I will always follow a training split. I think it gives you structure. I think it gives you more motivation to get into the gym, and just knowing that you can go in there and execute something rather than walking around aimlessly, because that's when I always half-ass my lifts, and I'm not like too fond of like going in and just kind of like, oh, what should I do today? So having structure with my training split is something I think I'll always do. And any cardio that's scheduled, I do 2 fun sessions of boxing a week, and then I incline walk 15 minutes because I sit here all day or in Starbucks. So I'm very sedentary, so I will walk on the treadmill for 15 minutes if I feel like that day I'm going to be really sedentary. Okay, Carmen Lives, my girl, asked me a bunch of really good questions regarding my business. So this is kind of going to be like the big business segment, so if you don't want to listen to it, fast forward a little bit. But if you like this kind of stuff, give this video a thumbs up and comment below, because I want to know if you guys want to hear more about this. But she asked me if I could start my business over, what is one thing I would do differently. I would have been a lot more organized with client programming and the software I was using in the beginning, and knowing to just establish a little bit more authority, because in the beginning there were times where I would like have self-doubt and just get really disorganized and everything. And now that I'm kind of more organized and I've established a little bit more authority in my business and feel more confident, it's allowed me to give more and serve more for my clients and save time, which is huge because that means I can take on more clients. Have I ever been able to not work with someone because their effort wasn't there? So I don't think it's ever a matter of me not being able to work with someone because their effort wasn't there. I think I can get someone to give effort. It's when someone doesn't trust you because they literally are just so scared of the process to the point where it just won't work out. And a lot of the times, you know, I've never really had a really big altercation with someone when it comes to coaching, but there have been times where clients have left and gone with other coaches, and that's fine. Everyone to find a coach who they resonate with, who is going to coach them, and they're going to have a great relationship. It's going to be really trusting, and that's what's going to be the most important. So if someone has to leave me to find someone who's going to do that for them, then that's fine. But you know, I've never really had an altercation like that, but I always want people to get the best that they possibly can. And if that's not me for them, then that's okay. You just have to move on from that. Not everyone that you coach is going to be 100% compatible with you. Okay, one of my other clients, Sadie, asked me, how did you have the money to move to San Diego, and what was the best part about the move? The best part about the move was definitely the fact that at first I moved to LA and I was able to be with Chris all the time. I absolutely just love it out here. The weather is perfect, and I hated Florida where I was living at the time. So it's really nice to just like have that independence. The worst part of it was definitely like the scariness of just like being out here and doing it all pretty much alone. So that was really scary. And then as far as having the money, I already was probably making a significant amount with coaching month to month. I think at the time it was when I was on my way to more of a six-figure type business, but I had already been coaching for I think 3 or 4 months, and my coaching, I was probably averaging around like 20 to 25 clients a month, so I was definitely able to make the move by myself out here. How long have me and Chris been dating, and how did we meet? So we have been together almost a year, in like 15 days. In 15 days it will literally be a year. And we met at the Olympia officially last year, but we had been like FaceTiming every single night for like 3 months prior to that. So we like basically were dating by the time we got to the Olympia. When we got to the Olympia, we just like knew it was meant to be. And then he flew to Florida like 4 days after the Olympia, and then he was like, come back to LA with me, quit your job and come to LA. And I was coaching at the time, so I quit my job. I went back to LA with him for a week, and then I was like, I need to move here. I love California. And I came and stayed with him for like 2 months, and then got a place here in San Diego, and that was that. Now we have been together for almost a year. Okay, another question regarding intuitive eating. Since switching to intuitive eating, mindful eating, I've noticed you also focus a lot more on whole food sources. Has that helped with digestion? Yes, oh my gosh. Since switching to a more intuitive style of eating, I've actually started to hone in on my digestion. So I've really just been focusing a lot more on foods that I know digest well for my body. So not only am I eating more intuitively, but I'm also being more conscious and more aware of how foods affect my body, and how they make me perform, rather than, you know, attaching any kind of emotion to them. So I've just been noticing foods that I feel really good with eating afterwards, and so I will stick to those foods like pretty much religiously because I love them and they work really well for my body. And just been doing a lot more research for my clients on like pre and probiotic foods, insulin resistance, blood sugar stability, all that kind of stuff. And from doing that, it's also made me be a lot more in tune with my body, as well as use that knowledge to apply that to every time that I kind of approach a meal, which is really cool. So yeah. Okay, I was waiting for this question to come up. Am I on birth control, or have I ever been in the past? Any types or experiences? So when I was like 15, I asked my mom to go on the pill and she was like, no, because I was anorexic and I just wanted to get my period so that everyone thought it was healthy. And she was like, nope, we're gonna do this the right way. So I didn't go on birth control. I never had been on birth control ever. And then obviously when I started a relationship, I was like, well, I don't want to have freaking babies right now. So, or like ever. That's just like one thing I don't see in my future. I'm just like that, but we'll see. So I definitely was like, well, I'm not gonna get pregnant and die, so let's see what my options are. So I went to my OBGYN and she put me on the pill for like 3 weeks, and I was a freaking raging B word, okay? Like, I was so mean. I actually had signs of depression again, which I hadn't had since I was like 15 when I had my eating disorder, and I was like, this has got to go. I was like, at this point, getting pregnant would be better than being on this birth control pill. Okay, so I came off the birth control pill and I was off it for like 3 months, which was like hard, okay? And then I went to my OBGYN here when I moved to San Diego, and I was like, girl, like, you need to do something for me that's not gonna like make me preggers. And she was like, okay, well, here are your options. So I actually went with the Kyleena IUD. Basically it's like a little T that they insert into you, and it has like strings where they can like pull it out at some point. At first I struggled with it really bad. Like, I was super bloated the first week. I didn't want to eat, and this was when I was still tracking macros. I like didn't want to eat. I couldn't work out because like it's so uncomfortable, like doing a squat. I can't even imagine. So I was just like, no, this is not happening. And I waited it out, and like a week and a half later, I was completely fine. I had spotting for like a month, which sucked a little bit. And I still get all the symptoms of my period. I just don't get my period. I might have like spotting here and there, but I've had it for 3 months and it's been great. So if that's something that you're looking into, I would definitely like recommend or go talk to your OBGYN about that form of birth control. But I just didn't do well with the pill. I also don't know a lot of research, and I'm not like gonna sit here and act like I'm like certified to tell you a bunch about taking different forms of birth control, but personally for me, that Kyleena IUD was perfect. So it's just a copper IUD that they insert, and it stays there from like 3 to 5 years or something like that. So no babies for this one. How do you keep your hair growing so long and healthy? Do you take vitamins? Yo, my hair is the best that it has been since I was anorexic, okay? So I've been taking really good care of my hair. Basically, I'll kind of break down to you guys the products I use and then the vitamins that I take. So every day I've been taking a multivitamin, 2 fish oil pills, and a biotin pill, which biotin is for hair, skin, and nails. I get those all from NutriKey, so if you guys are interested, you can use my code. I'll put the link down below as to where I get mine from. They're super cheap on their website too, so it's not like a huge investment. As far as it goes with product, because I did get my hair balayaged a while back, I do use Fanola products, and Fanola is basically for hair pigmentation. But up until I got it done, I still use their products anyway. Their masks are great. They have like bond connectors. It's a little bit on the pricier side, so just watch it, I guess you would say. Like, if you don't have the money to invest in it, my bottle lasts me a long time. I only use it once a week. Other than that, I use the L'Oreal pigment, but if I run out of Fanola, but I love Fanola products. How long did you take to grow before your first competition? So before my first competition, I was only recovered for 7 months. So you can imagine I made a pretty big mistake there. It's not that I would necessarily call it a mistake. I loved every second that I competed. I placed well. I got 3rd place in my first competition, but I would have done so much better had I had a little bit more muscle mass on me. So I think for me, like, that was definitely a big mistake. But if you're my age, like if you're 18, if you're like 19, 20, like take a year or 2 to grow. Like, I'm gonna take however much time off now that I need and think that I need to just put on some muscle mass. Right now I'm probably eating in a little bit of a surplus, but I ideally could still grow for like another 5 years and then compete. Like, the more muscle you have on your body, a little bit better it's gonna be for you, and also your cut is gonna be so much easier than if you're if you don't have muscle mass on you. So okay, somebody asked me why I don't eat oatmeal for breakfast, and this was just like made me so sad, because why should you have to eat oatmeal for breakfast? Like, you shouldn't have to eat oatmeal for breakfast if you think you're gonna be healthy. Like, I eat my English muffin or bagel every morning and I'm completely satisfied. So you don't need to eat oatmeal to be healthy all the time, okay, people? You can eat whatever you want in moderation. Okay, this is the last question I'm gonna ask. Okay, so this is the last question I'm gonna answer. Somebody asked me, why did I start working out? You're a great inspiration, by the way. Ah, thanks, girl. I can't see your name because it's like right at the bottom of the screen. I'm so sad. Oh my gosh, I can't see it. But I started working out as a runner. I was a runner for my high school team and I loved it. But unfortunately, I took running so seriously, started getting results, and would end up just restricting my intake as I was still running. And I became a pretty shitty runner because it's really hard to run 6 to 10 miles a day when you're eating 600 to 1,000 calories a day. And so when I obviously hit my low point of my eating disorder, I just knew that I needed to recover. If you guys want to see more about my story, it's the first video I ever posted on my channel. But when I finally recovered, one of my best friends introduced me to bodybuilding, and he was like, girl, like, if you're gonna do this, you have to feel your body. And so I started to eat a little bit more, and each gym session, I would lift a little bit heavier, I would add a little bit more resistance, I would increase my rep ranges, I would just feel like so strong and so good. And I realized, like, holy crap, this gives me so much confidence. Like, I love the fact that I'm able to sculpt my body. I love the feeling of like being disciplined but like also having like a good balance, and just wow, like I literally just love fitness so much. Like, I fully embrace it as a lifestyle, and I knew that this is what I wanted to do for like my career. I knew it was what I wanted to like introduce other people to. And so with him introducing me to bodybuilding and me continuing to grow with it, I think that's just what really sparked my love and like my interest for it. And I'm just so grateful for this life. Okay guys, well, thank you so much for watching this Q&A. I definitely want to do more of these. You guys asked so many questions, so I just screenshotted quite a few of them and just thought I would try and get them out there for you. I know this video is pretty long, so if you have more questions, you can always leave them down below. Spike my interest with a new video. Next week I go to France and I go home, so I'll definitely be getting a travel vlog up for you guys, and I will also be getting up a Foodie Friday while I'm in France. Hello! So if you guys like this video, go ahead, give it a like. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the little bell so you don't miss my next video. I love you guys all so much.